Oh, hey, good morning.
Afternoon.
Alec. Oh, that's right. It's afternoon by 1 minute.
Good afternoon.
That's right. We're never even early for this show, and I can't learn that. So
it's okay. It's been 2 years. Give yourself time.
I know. Give myself a break, right? Hey, I don't know when you want to do it, but I got a special karaoke today.
Okay.
So I'll let you decide, but we need to do it because this is a very special one because it was for Father's Day.
Okay, so there'll be zero warning about it. It'll just start. It might even be in the middle of a sentence.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
So just
hit it.
Okay. So
anytime.
Fair enough.
Okay.
So just real quick, before I forget, because we talk about community things, this is south of our community, but we love Fort McLeod. We went and saw the Music Man on Saturday night at the
nice. Yeah, I heard that was going on. Yeah.
Check it out. It's really well done.
Okay. Cast
is great. Like so strong, great voices. I really, really enjoyed it. And it's funny because we were a part of that production a few years ago here. And it's neat to see it as an audience member and not be like, when you're in your head and you're kind of doing your own thing with it. Man, really, and they look like they're having a lot of fun. So just before I forget, go get your tickets to that show because it's really
and when is that airing until?
I think it's tomorrow night. I think they close.
Man, not a lot of time.
Not a lot of time.
Okay.
Not a lot of time. So tonight or tomorrow, I think there may be a matinee as well. Just check out the Empress and the schedule because it's really well worth the trip to go check it out. So
nice. Okay. Okay, well, everybody who can make it, enjoy it. I unfortunately, it's wedding season for me, so
that's true.
Weddings,
that's true.
Shows.
Is alive, and so we begin. Foolishly laying our hearts on the table.
Is this the karaoke we're doing?
This is.
I told you. I said it would just start. We're just gonna do it.
So here, let me give you the background while we're playing this here.
Yeah,
I'll give you
yeah.
the background what happened. So Tracy gets a hold of me and she says, I want to do something special for Dale for Father's Day.
Nice.
And so she comes in and we record this karaoke for him. And then she reveals it to him on Father's Day to wake him up.
Oh, that's a nice idea.
So it was pretty cool. But this is the song that we ended up doing.
I love it.
So yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. It was really nice, and of course, always an honor to be included in this kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
So the fact that she asked me if I would, sing along with her and do a duet. So that was really nice.
Not everyone gets to be woken up by your voice in the morning. Really.
No. And I didn't know I was feeling a little bit odd when I was putting this together. I was feeling a little bit odd putting my picture in there beside theirs.
That's funny. It does require a little bit of explanation, doesn't it? There's a little bit of
I think it does, yeah. but that's me rocking out up there at an airband competition. So this is like a combination of karaoke and airband lip syncing.
What are you singing up there, by the way?
You want to know what I actually was singing?
Yeah.
I was doing Platinum Blonde.
Would have been my third guess.
Yeah, that's right. Your third guess. I was doing Platinum Blonde. Doesn't really matter. Is what we were doing. Nice. Now here's a funny story. So I think we've got enough of this. The funny story is that when we first moved to this area, we were actually in a lip sync competition or like an airband competition that High River had put on. We won first place with Sloan.
Really?
Money City Maniacs.
That's
Sloan.
Funny. Wow.
And we won first place on it. Yeah. This is when we first got here. I got to find that video someday and show it to you. It's pretty funny, actually.
That's good. That's a nice way into the community.
Now, speaking of which, I have to ask you this.
Yeah.
Have you yourself ever done an airband?
No. Well,
don't lie. Everybody's done an airband. Everybody's pretty. I know that you're a very talented musician, so it's almost like, why would I do an airband when I can just do it for real? But come on.
No, I was in an airband in grade 4.
Yeah. Well,
that's the last time.
That's about the time. That's about the time I was doing it too.
And it just, it didn't make a living. I tried it, but no, I haven't. I would do it again.
So they had a kind of a showcase, not a competition, but a showcase on CBC. And so in Saskatchewan, where I grew up, which is right beside Alberta, if people don't know.
Yeah.
They have a show. They had a show on Sunday morning. It was like a kids variety show, and it was called Switchback.
Oh yeah.
You remember that?
I do.
Okay, so so in Saskatchewan, they had a call for kids to come in and audition to do an airband on the show. I was chosen to do an airband on CBC on Switchback.
Wow.
So I got to do it.
Do you often lead with that when you meet people? Like, is that like the first? That's a good in.
It's the most impressive thing about me.
That's just a nice conversation starter for people when you haven't met them. That's pretty cool though. I like it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Awesome. Hey, we've got some good guests lined up.
We do. Yeah, we got some cool stuff here.
We're gonna be talking to Jay Sawatsky from the library. And Derek Prue. I hope I'm saying your last name correctly, Derek. I'm not even going to talk about why we're going to talk to Derek. I'm really excited about this because I don't know a lot, but we've got the guy who's going to explain it.
Well, if there's anybody who can fill us in on what's going on, it's Derek, I'm sure.
I don't want to get the details wrong. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think it's pretty cool. But why don't we jump over to Jay to start with?
Okay.
She's been on the show a couple of times and find out what's going on in the. What's going on with the library? Afternoon, Jay. Thank you for joining us.
Can the cat come back?
The cat can go. Oh, the cat already came back.
Yeah, cat's already back.
Cats.
Hey, thank you for joining us. So you've been at the public library now for we won't say how long. And let's just talk a little bit about what's happening at the library coming up and over the summer.
The big program we have running over this summer is a summer read program. It's sponsored by the TD Bank, and they do a huge amount of funding. They send all kinds of stuff out to us to give out to the kids. And basically what it is to keep the kids from losing their reading level over the summer. If they don't read, then when they go back to school in the fall, they tend to have lost some of the, the reading. I'm not sure what the word is, but just their reading ability that they had when they left school in June, right? So the idea is that they're to join up for summer read and then keep their skills up. So we have a program that runs every Wednesday mornings, July and August at 10:30, and it's basically mostly just crafts. But kids don't have to come to that if they don't want to. They can just sign up and get an activity bag, which contains a bunch of things. And I'm just warning the parents now, this year it contains a little bit of candy. Nice. But most importantly, it has a reading log. So when they read 5 books, they get a little prize. And when they read 25 books, they get a big prize. And basically, I'm bribing them, and I'm totally okay with that.
Yeah.
Last year, we had over 400 books read through the kids that came in and took out this activity bag. And I know they're reading them because some kids are just avid readers, but we've had kids that once they find out, they're like, oh, I have to go get some books right now and run off to the shelf. So I do think it's helping, and it's just a lot of fun. And picking out the prizes is fun, and seeing how happy they are when they get the prizes is really good too. So, yeah.
Now, I think that's a good segue into prizes, isn't it?
Sure.
Is that a good segue into prizes? Because yeah. I believe that you wanted to give a prize away.
I do.
That's worth about $35. Why don't you explain to everybody what this prize is that you're going to give away? It says a $35 value. What is it we're giving away on the show?
It is. It's a Shishibo. What do they call it? A Shishibo shape sifting box, and I have it here, but it's in the packaging because I want it to be pristine for whoever gets it. It's basically a STEM toy, and it can make 70 different shapes. It has little rare earth magnets inside of it, and so you can manipulate it into so many different geometric shapes. And it's just lots of fun, and it just teaches kids about how they can make things like this themselves out of paper, because you can.
That's very cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And so STEM toy, for those who don't know, that's what science,
technology, engineering, and math. And some say STEAM, they add in art, but I just prefer STEM. And we do actually have a STEM program that runs every Wednesday from 4 to 5 for kids that are 8+, and they have a really good time and do all kinds of fun things.
So last week we had this situation where Alec was in the vortex. He was kind of like in the Bermuda Triangle, and it looks like he's back in the Bermuda Triangle a bit again today. So that means that while he's in the Bermuda Triangle trying to get himself out, that means you and I get to talk.
Sure.
So I got a cool story, a cool library story for you. So my wife, you and I were talking earlier. I was telling you that my wife is on the board of the library here. So she's part of the book club. Now, funny thing, she was supposed to, it was her week for book club to present questions about the book that she was reading. They kind of take turns in the book club, right? And she got there and went, oh, totally forgot that I was supposed to prepare the questions about the book we're reading. So she was getting those ready. Then she looks up and she sees the snack table that they've got, and there's nothing on it. Oh, I forgot. I'm supposed to supply the snacks.
That is a good story.
So she runs across the street to the gas station, and she gets a bunch of donuts, and so that's what they get to have for snacks. Whatever. So I don't know if you rely on Amanda for snack and question day for book club. But the other story I wanted to tell you, which I thought was really, really interesting. Now, all of our brains work a little bit differently. And I have tried to read books, and my brain just has a hard time comprehending. I'll read a paragraph and in a book, and I'll try to create the story in my head, but then I will lose track of what I just read.
Okay.
And I'll have to go back and I'll have to read that again.
Okay.
So that I can kind of get back into the book and what it is, right? My wife is the opposite. My wife can go through a 500-page book in about 6 days. Mm-hmm. So, or even less. She can read 100 pages a day and be finished the book in 5 days. Here's the interesting thing, though. There was a time here not too long ago where she decided she was going to try, I don't know what the audiobooks, something like that, audiobook.
Oh, yeah, yep.
She was going to try an audiobook. So she tried an audiobook. The same thing that occurs for me when I'm reading a book occurred for her when she was listening to a book.
Okay.
She was listening to it, and she lost track of where she was in the book. She had to rewind the audiobook to listen to it again to get back into where she was. When she said she reads a book, she can immerse herself in the
Yes.
story of the book, and she can create this world
Yes.
in her head, and it's very detailed in her mind. And she loves to read
Yeah.
books. And I never put that together. I never thought that would even exist for somebody to not be able to create that imagery,
Right.
that story, the detail, the characters. Because when you're reading it on page, you get to make up basically, and you're the director of that movie in your head when you're reading it, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That is crazy. So I think Alec might be back from the Bermuda Triangle here. So are you back, or are we?
I think so. I don't know. Streaming just kicked me out. I'm not sure what happened. So
okay. Well, you deserve to get kicked out at that point. So
we're talking about STEM, and then something, I don't know, people that control everything were like, no, you're not allowed to say that out loud.
That's right. Anyway, so yes, we had just talked about that. Now I've got some images here, and I wanted Jay to kind of talk about some of these images. I was kind of hoping that this would be the thing that she was going to be giving away as a prize, but I don't augmented reality sandbox, but I have a feeling that I had a feeling that probably wouldn't be the prize. So
well, it's very big and very heavy. So
that's what I thought. Probably very, very expensive as well. So
yeah, 300 pounds of sand. So
that's right.
Yeah.
So why don't we talk about some of these images that you sent over to me? So what do we got here? What is this all about?
Well, this is our new favorite toy. It's just like it says, an augmented reality sandbox. So it's a sandbox that's filled with regular beach sand, but it's white. And then it has a projector and a depth sensor. And so it projects images into the sand. And as the kids play with the sand, it changes. So they can build mountains out of the sand, and then trees will grow on the side of the mountains. Or they can dig up a toy. The toy will be an outline. They'll dig it up. It becomes like a full toy. And then if it's a toy car, it gets up and it drives across the sand, or the plane flies across the sand.
What?
They can dig down, and then it fills with water, like fake water, and they can chase sharks and play with tanks. And yeah, it's pretty awesome.
So I understand the whole concept of you don't want to give too much away. Why didn't you send me video of that? This sounds amazing.
Oh, you know,
I wanted to see
it's
this.
really hard to get a good video. Like I did a little one, put it on Facebook.
Really?
Got it, but it
doesn't work. Hey,
my iPhone, and it just wasn't. Yeah, but it's very, very cool. It has 29 different modes, and the kids love it. We had a grade 3 class come through, one of them last week and 2 this week, and when they see that, they just jump right on it. So, yeah.
Can you bring?
What's that?
Can you bring it over to my house?
It's just the coolest thing, and kids intuitively know how to use it.
Really?
Oh,
the kids are.
And there's no hesitation. Their brains are just like. Whereas me, like I read it up and I play with it, but the kids are just like they figure it out immediately.
There's a new business of 5-year-olds that are teaching people how to use technology.
Exactly.
I'm hiring them as tutors, technology tutors.
You are not wrong.
They're 4 and 5 years old, and I'm going, I'll pay you. Just come and show me how to use this stuff.
Well, they're born with an iPhone in their hand, right?
That's right. That's right. Soon they're going to be born with iPhones in their hands, so they'll be attached. Okay, let's go to the next one here. So, what is this all about?
So
I like Ghostbusters. I like that.
Yeah, this is our Halloween. Last year we did Harry Potter, and this year we're doing the Ghostbusters experience. This is a full-size proton pack replica that I made. It's not finished. I still need to make the gun.
Okay.
So basically, we're going to have that. I'm going to try and get the Ghostbusters uniform so people can come and they can put on the uniform and the proton pack and cosplay and have their picture taken, kind of thing. So, and it's really light because most of them are around 40 pounds, but this is made from a foam floor mat, so it weighs like 8 pounds.
Oh, so you said you made this?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting because when I saw the picture and I read it, of course, for the first time, I thought, how did they get their hands on one of the original props from the movie?
Foam, it's foam and hot glue.
Really?
It can't sit out in the sun; it will just fall apart.
Well, that looks pretty legit. That looks good. And then we've got this one here. So what's this all about? I see Ghostbusters ID card. Yeah,
so we're giving out, because in Ghostbusters 4, the Afterlife filmed in Fort McLeod, they have the mini marshmallow men. So I'm giving out little PVC marshmallow gun shooters, right, made out of PVC pipe.
Okay.
Little marshmallows, but they also get a little Ghostbusters ID card that they can clip onto whatever and put their little photo on there and be an official Ghostbuster.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
wow.
and that's just a little Cozy Tykes card that I bought for next to nothing, and I just revamped it and made it into a little tiny ecto for a little photo prop for kids.
Oh, that's funny. So you said that this was last year. It was Harry Potter. You did this year. It's going to be Ghostbusters theme.
Yeah.
It's for Halloween.
Yeah, it's for Halloween because we have 2 haunted houses here in town. So we have this, so people can go from one to the other to the next. And
so
go ahead.
I was just going to say, so we're going to have to follow up with you closer to Halloween and see how this, maybe come and get some video or something like that. So I'll put Alec in charge of coming to get the video. So
it's going to be lots of fun. I love Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, we're big fans of that. That's really awesome. Alec, is there anything that popped up in your mind while you were looking at all that?
It just reminded me of like being a kid, and my first sandbox was a box of sand. There was there was nothing else. Do you think this is going to just be a trend that continues? When you look at that sandbox, do you see it somehow improving or changing, or is this going to be standard?
I don't know if that's going to improve or change, but there's new stuff in that vein coming out all the time. Like there's a company in the States now. It has this, I don't know how we would call it a machine, but basically they have a projector on a whiteboard or whatever they have handy, and the kids make little drawings and they put them into this computer, and then on the screen their drawings become animated and start moving around.
Wow.
It's pretty awesome. So
that's fun. That's very cool.
So, this kind of thing, this interactive thing with computers for kids is just going to expand. I mean, and I don't even know who thinks of these things, but they're amazing.
Yeah, that's very cool. So, well, it's good to promote, of course, what's going on over at the Claresholm Library. So thanks for coming on and telling us all about it. You're always welcome. So if you have anything new that you want to promote, then let us know and we'll get you on again.
That sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks, Jay.
All right, Jay.
Appreciate it. Bye. Okay. That's cool. It's so crazy, hey, the change in technology. I've always wondered, like, what the biggest shift in our generations. What do you think is the biggest shift? At first, I thought it was air travel. The invention of an airplane is just amazing. I mean, taking flight or taking travel from hours and days and days to just a couple hours is incredible. It's like time travel almost. And then the invention of computers. So then all this technology that goes with it, right? So
yeah. I think the internet has to be the biggest shift. I think
the biggest shift. Yeah. In the last 200, 300 years.
I would say
after the wheel,
and then nothing happened for a while.
And then the internet.
I mean, I think, and the goalpost will move, right? Like, I think if you were to ask my dad that, he would have probably said television, because that was a big deal.
Yeah.
But when you look at the two-way communication that we have through the internet, the ability to, you can start a whole business on the internet. The entire sort of knowledge, our knowledge is all here somewhere if you want to go and find it. So it does, and who knows, maybe our kids down the road, in 20, 30 years, will look back and say, oh no, the internet was nothing. And then we discovered, whatever, like time travel or who knows what, jumping through black holes.
But you're right. You're right. I think that the goalpost, depending on who you're talking to, could move, which I think is a great segue into the NJHL. So I think we should talk to somebody who knows all about goalposts.
Yeah, that do not move. They
don't. That do not move. That one the other night. Have you been watching the Stanley Cup Finals?
Well, you know what? I don't care about the Oilers. No, I shouldn't say that. I have been. Yeah, no, I've been following. I've been listening, and I've been watching the updates people post all over social media. My friends in Edmonton. Yeah. And I'm not. You know what? That's why I said good luck tonight in my little thing at the bottom, just because it is pretty cool. It's pretty exciting. But the goalposts in hockey do not move, and this is a bit of a mystery to me. What's happening? So can we just put that graphic up one more time, Dave?
Yeah, we can put the graphic up. So I want to say hi to Derek. Make sure we can hear him. Okay, Derek, can we hear you? Okay, can you hear us? Okay.
Yeah. Hi, fellas. Thanks for having me on.
Okay, perfect. Excellent. So NJHL, Junior A hockey. That's a big deal for Claresholm. What is going on?
Deal. So let's just, first of all, what is NJHL? What's the NJ part?
National Junior Hockey League.
Okay. And so where is this kind of in the ecosystem of like the NHL's at the top? Where is this league kind of sit as far as what most people know as far as the leagues in the sport?
Sure. So we're considered Junior A, Tier 2 hockey. You know, back in the day, there was Tier 1 and Tier 2. So we are, a step below what you would see at the AJHL, although we have players that are, some players that are just as good, some teams that are probably would be competitive. But overall, at this point, kind of in our growth cycle, we are, that's kind of where we fit in. And the, junior A hockey is kind of that. It's for players that are full-time players. They're dedicated players, come from around the world to play in our league. And, it's a stepping stone. So, it being a full-time program and also, not the end of the road for these players, aged kind of 16 to 21, but they want to get scholarships. They want to go pro. And that's exactly what we're here for. Every year we have, a lot of players, dozens of players that move on to that next level of their development.
Are the scouts looking at the players in your league quite a bit to, determine drafting those players, NHL quality? Is that what's happening with your league?
Yeah, we have kind of two sets of players that kind of land, and I mean, this is in broad strokes, but we've got a lot of young prospects that will use our program as an alternative to minor hockey. So some late bantam or midget age players. So 16, 17. We have a couple 15-year-olds that come in, and those will be players that ultimately, they're looking to play higher level, WHL maybe, and get into that elite stream program for draft. And then, a large number of our league and teams are made up of guys who, they weren't elite stream necessarily throughout their whole career. They're late bloomers. There's a lot of different reasons. They're from outlying areas. So we've got those guys who haven't been drafted to the NHL, but they still want to play. They still want to play, get a scholarship to play university in the States or in Canada, or play professionally in North America. Or we've sent quite a few guys overseas into Europe as well.
Wow. And so how is it that, I mean, I know that the guys that are playing end up doing a lot of management stuff, but I mean, you must have just finished the program last year or 2 years ago. I mean, you look like you're about 21, 22 yourself. So how is it that you ended up in such a role at such a young age here? I mean, and all jokes aside, what is your hockey background?
I played junior A hockey, played at this level. I played professionally in North America. I played, in the minor leagues. I played in Europe for a number of years, in Austria, and just kind of came around. Came by it organically. I do appreciate your comments, but I'm 52 years old, so I've got some years behind me.
I'm telling you, man, you look like you could strap them on again and play with those young kids. So, so you have played at a high level yourself then. And so let's be very careful about how we answer this next question. Is Edmonton going to win the Stanley Cup?
I don't want to be the guy that guarantees the win, but it's. I think they're positioned. They're positioned pretty well. A lot of excitement around, that's for sure.
That's a good answer. That's a solid answer. So the league that's come to Claresholm, where are these players from?
They'll be. That's a little bit of a moving target, because that's going to depend on whoever's the head coach or GM will influence that quite a bit. They usually have their. We've got some coaches that have played or even lived in Europe, so that that's kind of their sphere of influence. Or we've got kind of depends where their background is, or are they bringing players with them from maybe a different league. But in general, we do have a draft. Our draft was last week, so there's 12 players or 10 players taken out of that. Those guys will be at camp. There is an identification camp in Claresholm next weekend, not this coming weekend, but the 29th weekend. So there'll be a number of prospects out there. Some of those guys will get offered contracts. So, and then just, kind of, again, whoever the coach and GM are, they'll have kind of their own way of recruiting. In general, Western Canada players make up probably 80% of our league. Then we've got some Americans, Eastern Canada, and then a number of European players as well.
Okay, so this league then, like, is this a league that's going to exist within sort of Southern Alberta, with Claresholm having its own sort of home team?
Yeah, so what we've been historically operating in Northern Alberta. So Claresholm is going to be part of our Southern Division, which this year will be 3 or maybe 4 teams. We're waiting on the final kind of vote in another community on that. So it'd be nice to have 4, but you can manage with 3, and then there'll be some crossover games between the North and South. So we've got Vulcan, who was in the league last year, and then Crow's Nest Pass as well, kind of make up our Southern entities there.
And they'll play teams from the North, or are they separate?
No, they're separate. Well, they're separate, but they will play. So how it'll work is the teams from the North will go south for one game, because obviously there's more teams in the North, so they'll do their road swing. So you'll see all 6 Northern teams, and then the teams from the South will come up for two road swings this year until.
I see.
Wow. Now, just so you know, Derek, just before we move on to the next part here, Alec is the guy who asks the smart questions, and I'm the smart Alec.
Yeah.
And so I was looking up, I wanted to try to find your website, and I came across, of course, I put in the njhl.com, and I discovered the New Jersey Police Honor Legion is probably not your website, is it?
No, it's not.
That's not yours. But in my investigative search here, I did run across something that looked a little bit like this here, and I'm just wondering if that looks familiar to you.
Yeah, that's us.
That's you right there. Okay,
awesome.
See, so let's take a look
right
at this.
now, like, we're talking about, from what I understand, that the team hasn't been named, as in the name of the team, not the players, but the actual name of the team. Is that right?
That's correct. We have a name the team contest going right now, and then so we're going to be posting this coming week the top 3 submissions, and then there'll be another probably week to 10 days where people can vote on what they want the name to be. So that's always an exciting part.
Gotcha.
Of the process.
That's cool. And have you, now I'm sure you can't talk about names that have come in, but if you had some good ones, have you seen some things come through where you're like, I could see that working? Yeah,
there's been a lot of really cool ones. So that's why we wanted to extend it a little bit, because we still had some coming in right till the end, of when we thought we were going to close it out. So probably Tuesday or Wednesday of next week we'll post the finalist list.
That's cool. And then someone has to design a logo, I assume, and based on the name, like, is that still all to come?
Yeah, from there we move it to our design team. That doesn't take that long. We've got some really good people there that put that together for us in short order, and then we have the logo unveiling, and then shortly after that the jersey unveiling, and then merchandise becomes available. Sometimes again now, the coach and GM will be named, and then then there'll be a mascot and all those fun things that people can look forward to at junior.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I'm thinking, I didn't play hockey growing up. It's a tad late for me now, but mascot feels like it might be attainable for me to at least get close to my dream of being in a hockey league. I might be able to be in the mascot, head, depending on what it is, right? Who knows what the name's going to be.
I'm going to tell you something. Alec is actually pretty good on the color commentating as well. So yeah, I would.
There's that.
He's been known to do some good color commentating. So he knows the difference between short side and blocker and glove. Far. That's right.
How to open the door to the penalty box. Yeah, I've learned it all. I did really well. Dave Murphy, who's a good friend of ours and a good friend of the show, and is not a serious man, has come up with a suggestion that's offensive, I would say. The Claresholm Junior Maple Leafs, really? Do you think people are going to want to see that? Maybe. Maybe they will. It'll be just Dave in the stands.
He's just desperate to see the Maple Leafs in some form win something. So he doesn't care if it's a Claresholm Junior Maple Leafs.
Anybody
that he can name the Maple Leafs and they actually win something, he'll be able to die happy. So
no kidding.
Yeah.
So when is the season run then? What's happening now? Does this set up the team to start?
What's happening now? All these players are watching the Stanley Cup Finals. What's happening now?
What's happened? Not that, but I mean in terms of the naming the team and then logo design and jersey unveil. Does that set up the team for like the fall to start the season?
Yeah, for sure. So tryouts and camp will start in September. You'll see some exhibition games. Our league formally kicks off with league games October 1st, and then we run through into the month of March, and then playoffs. Playoffs go through March and April.
That's very cool. And so, what were you doing prior to being involved? Have you been involved with the league for a while, and now it's just expanded, or is this a new role for you?
No, we've been at this for a while. So we were actually part of a different league called the GMHL, which is a Greater Metro Hockey League. It's a larger league in Ontario. So we were actually a division of that league for 5 years, and we just we kind of outgrew their model over there. We're traditional junior A where we have full entertainment at our games, intermission games, like I said, the mascot, obviously we have a lot of fans at our games. In their business model is more of an academy. So they don't even, charge for admission to some of their games. They don't get fans because a lot of the teams are in the Greater Metro. So there's so many other, obviously competing entertainment opportunities. And so we kind of got to the point where, just what we wanted to do didn't align with their way of doing it, and they weren't really too keen on allowing us to modify some of the things that we wanted to. So so we went on our own, and it's been probably the best decision that we made. Just allows us to do a lot of more kind of exciting things and things that are going to be good for individual communities, and allows us to go into communities like Claresholm.
Right. That's very, very interesting. And so the players that ultimately are going to make up this squad are going to need to live sort of within the area so that they can come in for games. Like, it's not a requirement necessarily to be living in town, but if you're within this area and at least can get here, then I'm assuming that's what people would need to do if they make the team to be able to be available, I guess, in the travel time and all that.
Yeah, for sure. So players live in billet environments, so they're with families. It's a full-time guys, so they don't have a whole lot of time. Some of them have work maybe 10 hours a week or something like that for pocket change or work with some of the sponsors. But pretty much they're at some, about 6 or 7 of them will be in school, so they do school in the morning. The other guys will come in and do their volunteering, stuff like that, because we're very active in the communities. They'll practice from 1 till 3, and then they're back every evening to do workout or yoga or video or whatever. So it's a full-time program. So they live in built environments. Even if the guys that are 19, 20, they're not on their own in apartments or hotels or anything like that. They're in a family environment, and that's all Junior A runs that way. And,
okay.
Yeah. So they get so there'll be kind of a drive to get some billet families involved. I know there's been, we've reached out already to minor hockey and some of the other groups that usually help facilitate that. And then, so that's kind of how that end of it works.
So Derek, I do have a question here for you, and I'm going to blow my own horn here a little bit, but I've also alongside Alec there doing color, I've also been known to do a little bit of play-by-play myself. So I'm gonna lead in. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this or hear this, but let's just
I'm gonna lose my voice after this.
This is a little bit of that play-by-play.
It's gonna be worth it.
And after we hear this magnificent call, after we hear this magnificent call here, then
the net. There's another centering opportunity. It's there. It's in. It's in. The general score. Zimmer gets it. Paul Scholes buckets, baby.
This game is over.
I like it.
Yeah, we're so that leads to a serious question here about broadcasting your games. What exactly do you guys do as far as the broadcasting of the games? Is there a broadcast? Can people listen in some way, watch in some way? What is the plan for that?
Yeah, great question. All of our games, it's mandatory. Every game is live streamed. I'm not sure. Sometimes we may use Hockey TV. There's a number of different platforms that we can use. Some teams, some guys like.
I think we just lost him.
Oh dear.
Do you want to answer that question there?
Yeah, I could try.
Alec, just beat Derek, and
right now the someone in the arena is going to commentate, and then someone outside is listening and is going to yell it into the street. Here's the thing that I love. Like, we always say we learn something on the show. You can't help it.
Yeah.
What I love is that it's like, now I understand how it works as far as where the kids, I say kids, these young guys live. Like, if you're coming in from the States, or you're coming in from Ontario to play, you could be 16, 17, grade 11, grade 12. You're going to be living with a family here. And then the schedule is interesting, right? Like you said, you're at the rink at 1:00. So it's curious how that works with school. It's a lot more flexible now, I think, than it used to be. But what a life at like 16 to be like,
I know, go
across the country. You're going to go live in this small town in Alberta for 6 months and play junior A hockey. And
yeah, that's crazy. I had family who were billets for junior hockey players, Regina Pats. And I didn't actually, even at that young age when they were doing it, I didn't even really understand what that was. I didn't understand what they were doing.
Yeah.
However, I did understand, because a friend of mine in Regina was a billet for a gentleman by the name of Donald Narcisse.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you remember that name.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
He was huge, of course, for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And so one day at practice, because I knew that this friend of mine, he was staying with this friend. One day at practice, I went and I asked him, "Hey, would you surprise my friend for his birthday?" And he brought 4 other Saskatchewan Roughriders to my house for a hot dog party, and we played.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. So we got Derek back here. So Derek, don't worry, we were able to carry it there when you got kicked out. So technology is what it is.
Yeah.
But we were able to carry the show there. So we're professionals.
Awesome. We just made up some answers that are probably
Alex said something about people are going to be yelling at the play-by-play out into the street, so everybody outside knows what's going on. You were in the middle of telling us about the different TV suppliers or providers that you can live stream it on. So do you want to pick it up from there?
Yeah, I was basically just getting at all of our games are live streamed. That's mandatory. And part of that is because now, like you guys touched on earlier in your show, everything virtually can be done. So scouts, agents, coaches from other teams, we need to make our games available so that they can watch their players, and it just helps promote. Obviously, it's also for the fans, because they're the primary ones that are usually watching that from all over the place. And but all of our games are live streamed. We strongly recommend, we're increasing our standards every year. We strongly suggest that there is play-by-play in color. If you get a chance, if you want to, all of our games are also archived. So the High Prairie Red Wings just do a fantastic job. They've even got like replays of their games and ticker and all of that. So so we do. That is a part of our business model, and for those reasons. So.
That's
nice.
Really cool.
Great to hear.
That's so awesome, man. I love this.
Yeah.
Is there a chance, Derek? I know that the Nanton Palominos. Are you familiar with the history of the Palominos? You know them at all?
A
little bit. So last year, I know they had a exhibition game. It was, I think, all the old guys came out to play, and they were huffing and puffing. Any chance we can get some of the executives from your league to come and play as well? Maybe give them a little run for their money.
Yeah, for sure. We could do an executive and coaching dust the blades off some of the guys.
Oh man, I love this hockey. I also do the play-by-play for the Nanton Palominos here, and Alex helped me with some of those games. So I love the hockey. Also love the arts. So I'm a very weird chameleon of. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't meet a lot of people who are into sports so much that are also into arts. It's either one or the other, right? They're really into sports or they're really into arts.
So you're using your whole brain, your left and right.
I'm trying to use the whole thing. Yeah. You wouldn't think that.
Well,
wouldn't guess it, but yeah, I try.
Say it's just keep doing that because it's
Yeah,
working.
that's
It's
right.
doing well for you.
Yeah.
This is really, really exciting, Derek. Like especially for Claresholm because we don't have obviously a team in that space, and so to be looking at like an October start, if everything goes well, is really, really exciting. And I assume the arena here is where you'll be playing, which is great.
Or are you building a new arena?
I don't know. I don't know. There's earth being moved around, but I think that's for the new McDonald's. Tell the guys there's going to be a McDonald's here by the time they start the games. By
That's right.
exhibition season, the McDonald's will be just down the street. I don't know if that's good or bad for the players, but
I think I figured it out. They told us they broke ground on the skate park. It's not a skate park. We're gonna have a new arena here.
Wouldn't that
We had
be-
no idea. They're just it's just surprising everybody.
A skating park.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah, right. Skating park. That's super
that's-
super exciting.
That's awesome.
Yeah, this
Well,
is great.
Thank you very much, Derek. If there's anything we missed here that's on top of your mind, then make sure you get it in before we let you go. But if we did a fantastic job, then thank you very much for being here with us.
You did a fantastic job, and
Look at
yeah,
that.
look forward to chatting again soon.
Awesome.
Well,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you, Derek. Thank you, and good luck with the season coming up here.
Thanks, guys.
Okay,
All right, Derek.
we'll see ya.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Bye.
bye.
Awesome.
Did you play hockey?
No.
You didn't play hockey? No, I
No.
attempted to play hockey,
No.
and wasn't very good at it.
I discovered the sport kind of late. I was too old. I was like,
that's kind of what happened to me a little bit. Like I was in it when I was younger, and then my parents pulled me out for like those really crucial developmental years.
yeah.
So from the age of about 8 to 12, somewhere like that.
That's
right?
where your whole career is made. See,
Yeah.
I discovered it. I was probably in like grade. I say too old. I mean, it's probably 8 when I really went. Oh, and by the time I was like 9, if I was going to start, it would have been a very late start. Like 9 years old is really late. And of course, the thing I really wanted to do would be a goalie. That was my that would have been the position I would have picked. And so I remember my dad took me out in the backyard, and we had like a hockey net, like a Canadian Tire net, and I had some pads and stuff, and I just loved take shots. And then he sort of like set a scenario, like a high pressure scenario, and it changed my mind forever. I was like, I do not want to do this. I don't like the pressure, but I just love the sport. And maybe in a different life I would have been, but I was not destined for the ice, unfortunately, for my young self. But
yeah, I got into ball hockey too, and I forced my wife into ball hockey, and she always told me when we first met, she was like, "I can't do sports. I always get the ball in my face. I didn't believe her, and then we started playing ball hockey together. Oof, man! Every game she had a ball in her face.
of course,
So yeah,
oh, well,
I was the goalie actually. I was the goalie, and it was kind of by default because I wasn't very good. I missed all those developmental years. So when I got back into it, when I was like 12, 13 years old, they went, "You're not very good. Let's put you in net." So
Nice.
yeah, so I ended up in net that way. And then I played goalie when I was in ball hockey as well.
that's kind of the default, isn't it? It's like, well,
Kind of is. Not anymore, I don't think. I think they're starting to look at the goalie as being one of the most athletic positions.
yeah,
And so it used to be that way. With the Glenn Resch goalie? You remember those really like thin leather goalie gloves?
oh yeah,
They had no padding at all. It was just like a pancake basically. And so back then, I think that's what they thought. They thought the guy who smokes and drinks the most in the dressing room, he's going to be our goalie.
He's the goalie.
So just lay down across the goal line, and you're the goalie.
Yeah. But now it's a much different. It is. It's a much different.
It's a lot different. Yeah.
Have you ever seen sort of how goalies train, like some of the crazy stuff
Oh,
they
yeah.
do with the lights? And there was an interesting video actually of it was I can't remember who it was, like NHL goaltender and a guy who drives like F1 for a living. Now, if I could remember their names, that would be awesome. But it was just a quick clip I saw, and they were doing this thing where the goalie had these 2 tennis balls, and the F1 guy had his hands on top, and the goal was to catch the cat, and it was just to show their reaction time. And both of these guys were like freakishly fast, lightning fast reflexes. Now, you and I, we'd be hopeless, but it's really, really incredible, like what they go through, the stuff you don't see on the ice. I think that's what fascinated me as a kid was that part of it. But what's great is we're going to have it here in town. Now, we've got the Claresholm Thunder, and those ages in that league is going to continue. Obviously, this doesn't replace anything. This is just an addition, and I think in a town like Nanton or Claresholm or this area, I don't think you can have too many hockey teams. So to have a junior A is that's pretty exciting. That's going to be awesome. That's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, that is going to be exciting. I'm going to be excited to watch that. So I love my hockey. What have we got left to do here? We've got let's see. We've got a lot of stuff on the show tomorrow. Are you going to join us for the show tomorrow at all?
I think I can jump in tomorrow for sure.
So just to remind everybody, and I think you guys also have kind of like a parade of garage sales in your community.
That was, I think, 2 or 3 weeks ago. It was early.
It was, okay.
It was early, and actually, we're coming up to Nanton tonight. There's a show happening, a comedy show happening at Raymond, so we're going to come grab.
Oh, well, I'll see you there then,
and watch some. Oh, there you go. So
that's what I'm doing tonight. Okay, so we've got that happening tonight, the comedy show at Raymond's. We also have the parade of garage sale that's happening tomorrow. We also have, so they had the AB Daily bike rodeo, which is basically bike safety for the elementary school kids. So our Carlos, which is our town peace officer, and bylaw officer, he's going to be in the studio, and he's going to be talking to us about, what they did. He organized it, and thank yous and all that kind of stuff, and talking about the kids and what they learned. And then we also have Lisa Lockton. Now, I don't know if you know that name at all. No. But she was with the town for something like 36 years.
Wow. And
she just retired.
Wow.
So we're going to have her on the show.
Wow.
And we are going to honor Lisa.
Yeah.
In the best way we know how.
That's pretty cool.
So yeah, she's a staple here at the town office. And so now that she's retired, we're going to find out what life is like after, being in the office for that much time.
She might, what? She might be a goalie in hockey now.
Maybe.
At the time.
Maybe try out.
Never say never. So the parade of garage sales, the way that we do it here, I think, is different in Claresholm. Everyone just throws their stuff on a flatbed. It's like a parade, and then you just drive through town and you just point at stuff you want. How do you guys do it in Nanton?
I don't know if I would take you serious.
No. But wouldn't that be convenient? Like you just go out and sit down on your lawn, and then everyone's stuff just drives by. And you're like, I like that bread maker, I'll take that. And then someone's just taking stuff off, and they're like $10. I think it would be very anyway.
I have a feeling ours is pretty similar to yours. Everybody signs their house up. They put a map together of where all those garage sales are going to be. Do you remember or recall how many you guys had, like how many houses you had for the garage sales?
I don't know. It just based on trying to get around town, it was a lot.
Yeah. So we have something like 80, 85, somewhere in there.
Yep.
So, a lot.
Yep.
And, so it's going to be a great day of shopping in Nanton.
Yeah.
For, what was junk to someone else is going to be gold to somebody. So
yeah. No, it's great. Super smart way to do it too, right?
Yeah.
Do it all on one day. I mean, not that you can't have a garage sale on a different day, but it's a nice way to sort of, at least everyone's out and you can kind of do it's like grown up Halloween because people are running across the street. You got to drive really slow because everyone's got golf clubs they're trying to sell or a rake. So that's happening this weekend as well up there, which is awesome. It's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Now, before I forget,
Yeah.
We've been talking about a lot of things today. We've had there's a lot going on. We got to talk about our sponsors because
of course
it's very, very important. And I always try to find some clever way to link everything together as far as like what's the common theme. And today's common theme with our sponsors is they all sponsor the show. Boom. So there you go. Janet's Fashions. Quick thanks to Janet's. They're on the corner of 50th Ave and Highway 2. Men's and women's fashions, which you might find at a garage sale, but if you can't, brand new clothes and footwear. So go check out Janet's, and a huge thanks to them for being a sponsor. Secondly, Claresholm Pharmacy. They've got a team of very friendly prescribing pharmacists And they also have a small grocery section, Cudlow Meats. They have dairy now as well. And the grocery section's neat. I've been in there a few times lately, and it's definitely growing, and it's stuff that you can't necessarily find at the grocery store. So huge thanks to them. And then finally, of course, your dollar store with more, locally owned and operated. They have a bit of everything, literally a bit of everything. They've got the helium tank if you've got a celebration, say your team wins game 6, just as an example. You want some orange and blue balloons, go check them out. If the team doesn't win, maybe it's a sympathy card for your friends if the Oilers don't win tonight. I'm not saying they're not going to, but somewhere in these 3 sponsors, Dave, you're going to find what you're looking for. And so a huge thanks to your dollar store with more as well. I'm not allowed to talk about the Oilers anymore as part of my contract with your radio station, so I don't get in trouble.
We got a lot of exciting stuff happening with the radio station. So hey, I'll tell you this one thing about the radio station, since you brought that up. This time last year, you put the numbers up here, okay? So really quickly, I'm going to put a banner up. This time last year, how many listeners per month do you think we had?
Per month?
Per month.
I'm going to think about this. I really got to think of this in thought. I'm going to go with 172. Okay, 3,500. I was way off.
Okay, so we had 3,500 this time last year, listeners per month.
Okay.
How many listeners do you think we have per month this year, 1 year later?
I'm going to go with 10,394.
Okay, you're pretty close. You're closer than before.
Okay.
We're breaking 16,000 this month.
That's really
good.
So
I don't know what the percentage growth is on that, but it's like this. It's like that.
Yeah, percentage growth is like 400%.
400%.
I would say.
So so about a 400% growth on the radio station listenership from last year to this year. So that's a very positive thing, and that huge. Leads to more positive things. So I just want to thank everybody Tracy's one of those people. She just absolutely just loves tuning into the radio station. Although she has given me a really nice, I think they call them backhanded compliments.
Yeah.
So she gave me this really
Can't wait to hear this.
Well, she was telling and she tells everybody, "Oh, you got to tune into the Nanton radio. It's awesome. I listen to it all the time when I'm out doing the farming or whatever in the tractor or whatever I got to do." I can't remember exactly what she does. She loves it, and she goes, "I really love the golden age of radio. Early in the morning." She said, "Sometimes I'm a late. I stay up late, so I'm up at like 2 a.m, 3 a.m." And she said, "And then when I tune in, then there's a lot of like, I don't know, like stuff I don't really understand, and all it is just the newer music and some of the more urban hip hop, dance, EDM they call it.
Got it.
That kind of party music.
Yeah.
Plays overnight.
That makes sense.
But I didn't realize that I had to. I would never have thought that we need to also cater to that. Tracy. Generation, that Tracy generation.
Yeah.
3 or 4 in the morning. So I thought it was just the party people that were up at that time.
I think it's both. I think she is a party person.
That's why she's up at that time. I didn't realize that. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Tracy, that's nuts. So
that's why she's up. I think she's going to get into that kind of music. I don't think there's going to be a problem.
So she'll learn a little bit of that kind of music now. So, but yeah, she was a little bit like, I don't know about that. She likes the rest of it.
Here's a question for you before we go, because we're almost at the top of the hour. Is there new music? Now I know you've got a wide musical taste, but are you getting to a point, an age, where you're like, I don't get it? Have you hit the I don't get it yet?
Well, there's some, but that has existed from my entire life.
Okay, that's the perfect answer. That was what because I'm like, sometimes people I think hit the threshold of like anything after this date, I'm out.
No.
But there seems to be more people who are like, no, you know what? There's music from the 90s that I was like, nah, it's not really my thing. And that's more of an evolving taste thing versus like hard.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's music from every generation and every year that I was like, I don't get it, but this is my style here. I'll stick with that. And today there's still stuff I don't get it, but man, there's some good stuff
there's some incredible stuff.
Love it. So I think I taught your daughter some good music during the show too.
So, I think so.
Whispers at the Manor. I think I had her play a few things. I was like, this, my dear, is what you should be listening to.
She came home with 3 albums that she got at a local thrift store.
Oh yeah, really?
She came home with a classical music, like an album, like an LP.
Yeah.
She came home with Olivia Newton-John and the score from West Side Story, which is very dear to me. So all in vinyl. I was like, my goodness. So that was just the other day. So there you go.
I know people who go out and shop and buy these the vinyl records, and then I go, wow, that's so cool. Do you really enjoy that full bodied sound of the vinyl? And they go, oh, we don't actually have a turntable.
Oh yeah, you need one of those. You got it. They're meant to be listened to. They're meant to be played.
Yeah. So I'm assuming you guys do have a turntable. Okay.
Yeah. So there you go. Okay, we are now at 1:00. It's wow, that went by quick. So we learned a lot today. The library's got some awesome stuff going on, and we've got some big time hockey coming to town in October.
We do, and I want to send a thanks to Alex Yanko for helping us with the guests. Okay, let's thank him for helping us out.
Absolutely, no, thank you, Mr. Yanko. That's we've got a nice little team happening here, and he's doing a great job of pulling guests in. And so if you're out there and you're listening and you hear from him, it's because he likes you and he wants you to be on our show. So
that's right.
He's what is the position that we would call that? What is he, like program director?
Guest booker.
Guest booker. Oh.
Celebrity booker.
My son is calling me.
Celebrity booker.
Probably means I have
you should probably take that. So
I'll take that. All right.
Okay, we'll let everybody go. Have a great weekend, everybody. Unless we see you tomorrow on Good Morning Nanton Live, we'll see you tomorrow. Awesome. Alex. We're talking about Mr. Yanko. Sorry, Alec and Alex. We'll see you tomorrow, and have a good one until next week on Connecting Claresholm. See you guys.
Absolutely. Bye.